In news that is shocking to almost no one, Noah Gragson is going to the number 42 Petty GMS car in 2023. Yes, it has been heavily rumored, reported, speculated that Noah Gragson will be going to the number 42 car in 2023. Ty Dillon, it was announced that he would not be returning just a few weeks ago, a month ago or so, and even at the time that was announced, it was reported that Noah Gragson was the top candidate to replace him, and it has been formally announced by the team that it will be Noah Gragson. Gragson has competed in 9 Cup Series races this season for Colleague Racing on a part-time basis, most recently this past week at Michigan. He has been full-time in the Xfinity Series since 2019 with Junior Motorsports, driving the number 9 car. He has 8 career wins, 52 top 5s, 85 top 10s in the Xfinity Series. He currently sits 4th in the point standings, made the championship for last year. And he has a few Truck Series wins, and yeah, that's been his career so far. Also, one of the biggest personalities in the Xfinity Series, in NASCAR, really. Really entertaining driver to watch on and off the track. His style, the fun things he does. He's an exciting driver in every aspect, and it's no surprise to see him come up to the Cup Series. He's not jumping straight up to a big-time team like a Hendrick Motorsports, Joe Gibbs Racing, anything like that, but he is coming into the Cup Series on a full-time basis, and he is going to a team that has shown that they can have competitive speed. We have seen Erik Jones on numerous occasions this year show the kind of speed that can be up front in the top 10, top 5, even competing for wins every once in a while. So Noah Gragson is stepping into an actually decently competitive seat. I don't think he'll be competing for wins week in and week out, no. But every once in a while, he should be competing for top 10s, maybe even top 5s next year. So this is not a bad car to be driving in for your first full-time Cup Series experience. It's actually a pretty decent ride for, your first full-time year. So congrats to him on getting this ride. Let's read some of the statements from the team owners and Gragson himself. To be able to finally announce my plans for next season and officially say I will be competing full-time in the NASCAR Cup Series is a dream come true. This is what we all dream of when we start racing at a young age, to be able to compete at the top level with the best in the world. I'm excited to join Petty GMS and drive a car that has so much history in our sport, the number 42. Now, team owner Maury Gallagher, he said, Noah has shown tremendous talent throughout his career. I've watched Noah from a young age competing on the West Coast to now competing at NASCAR's top level, and he's shown the commitment, desire, and ability to win at every level. As we move into our second year of competition in the Cup Series, Noah is a great fit for our organization, and I think with Erik and his experience, the two will prove to be contenders each week. Richard Petty said, we're excited to have Noah join the Petty GMS family and climb in the number 42 next season. Noah's proven he can win in the Truck and Xfinity Series and compete for championships, and we know he will bring that same fire with him to Petty GMS next season. Of course, he will be making his debut next year at the Busch Clash at the LA Coliseum. So yes, very big news here for Noah Gragson, for Petty GMS as well. They get a young and talented driver into their car, a guy who's been pretty good in the Xfinity Series. As I said, I think this is a great move for both sides. Gragson's going into his first full-time Cup Series ride, and it's going to be a pretty decent ride. As I said, the Petty GMS cars have not been bad this year, especially Erik Jones. Jones has shown top 10 speed a good amount of time. He's shown top 5 speed at times, and even a couple times like Auto Club. He had race-winning speed potentially. Petty GMS, it's only their second year as a combined team. Remember, GMS came in after the 2021 season to merge with Richard Petty Motorsports to make Petty GMS and expand to a 2-car team. So this is their first year, and as I said, Erik Jones, I think he's 14th in points, and of course they have that 35-point penalty. And without that, obviously a penalty, they did something illegal, but without that penalty, they would have been 11th in points, which is extremely impressive for that team. This team, prior to the merger with GMS, they're usually a 20 to 25th place team in the standings. Maybe can compete for wins at the super speedways, but that's about it. this year they have shown speed at numerous tracks. They've shown winning speed at times, which has been extremely impressive. So Petty GMS is no slacker of a team. Noah Gragson is going to get himself some really good Cup experience, and he's going to try to continue to climb the ladder to get up to a top-tier team that's competing for wins consistently. I don't know where that will be. Could it be, would it be a Trackhouse, Hendrick, another team? I don't know, but very good for him, very good for Petty GMS. They get a very talented driver into their car, a young talented driver as well. So this is a very good move for both sides, as I said. Gragson gets to get into a actually pretty decent car, and Petty GMS picks up a young, talented driver to be alongside Eric Jones, who has a few years of Cup experience and has actually been performing very well this year. Let's talk about some other news. Nothing big, nothing groundbreaking here. Well, I guess technically the ground will be broken, but it was announced that, or reported that NASCAR will break ground on a $28.5 million, 58,000 square foot production facility next to its R&D center in Concord, North Carolina. So it's pretty interesting. NASCAR getting a new place. Good for them. And then as for some news on charters, we all talk about charters all the time recently because so many of them have been moved around the past few years. We've seen Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan with 2311. They've purchased 2 charters in the last couple of years. Trackhouse Racing has bought a full-blown team in their charters from Chip Ganassi Racing. We've seen, I'm trying to think here, we've seen Petty GMS. They've got charters that they've bought. Charters are what gets you into the Cup Series full-time every single week. With the charter system, 36 teams every single week are guaranteed a spot in the field, and they have to compete for every single race. No matter who the driver is, they have to compete every single event. Whether it's the preseason race at the Clash, whether it's the All-Star race, they have to somewhat compete in this race to be able to keep that charter. And we have seen the price of charters go up a good bit over the past few years with, teams new teams joining the sport, buying charters from some of these smaller teams or teams who can't afford to be in NASCAR anymore. Well, the price has gone up. Asking prices for NASCAR charters have reached $20 million per sources, despite continuing skepticism from some of the industry over the true value of the sports version of franchises. That's up 48% from the $13.5 million that 2311 paid just last year. Of course, 2311 bought a charter. I can't remember exactly from who, but they bought a charter to field the 45 car of Kurt Busch for this year. They already had one charter with Bubba Wallace in the 23 car. I believe they bought that one from Germain Racing, who is no longer in the Cup Series. But yes, charters have been a big talk in NASCAR. The requiring of a charter to field a full-time team to be competitive, to be guaranteed a spot every week has been such a big deal. And then we've seen some big teams field a part-time third car, like we're going to see with Trackhouse here in a week and a half or so with Kimi Raikkonen in the Project 91. That's going to be an open car. We've seen open car teams like Team Heserberg. They show up every once in a while for the road courses. They're on a part-time schedule. They're an open car. But the point being is that the charters are getting more expensive. And the next-gen car was supposed to make NASCAR, the Cup Series, more affordable for team owners, for race teams to run. But now the price of a charter has gone up by almost $7 million. That is insane. Obviously, if you want a Cup Series team that badly and you have the money, you're going to make that investment. But just a few years ago, it was not anywhere near this number, and that number is continuing to rise, which, of course, I guess that's good for NASCAR, that the price of their teams are going up. That's a pretty good sign, I guess. But on the negative side of things, if some new teams are trying to get in, or some teams like 2311 Trackhouse want to expand, it's becoming a little bit more difficult because that number is going up financially in terms of getting a third car. If 2311 wanted to expand, if Trackhouse wanted to expand, honestly, I could see that happening, but it is an expensive venture. It's already expensive enough. Over $13 million is what it was last year, and now it's $20 million. So pretty crazy to see the rise in price of that. Kimi Raikkonen, speaking of, he's in the good old US of A. He's getting fitted in his seat, getting the steering wheel, the gloves, the drink, getting everything ready for his Cup Series debut at Watkins Glen. Trackhouse Project 91, they were releasing a bunch of race pictures yesterday, so that was pretty neat to see. But no other big news other than the Gragson to Petty GMS. Who's going to replace him at the 9 car at Junior Motorsports? I don't know. I think there's a good amount of options. You look at the Truck Series, specifically Chevy. Could Carson Hocevar, could he potentially go to the number 9? He hasn't won in the Truck Series yet, but he has shown competitive speed. He's been pretty good for the most part. He's in the playoffs. He's a good personality. Could you put him in that 9 car? I don't know, but there's some options out there for sure. But thanks for watching this video. No big news. If there is any other big news, I will obviously let you know, just because that's what I do. Speaking of, leave a like, subscribe for more NASCAR racing news. We'll talk about it, and I'll see you in the next video.